Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make a small little heart hoop earring today. So I'm going to start off by sketching out the shape of my heart in the size that I would like it to be in real life. And also just consider where you'd want it to sit in your ear, and then just draw a little line where you want the join to be between the eye and that little hook bit that goes through your ear. So I think it's easiest nicely, it'll fit nicely on that curve there. So then you're going to get a piece of string and just roughly measure out the perimeter of your design. This is just so you roughly know how much wire you're going to need. It's better to overestimate than underestimate, so just do it to the best of your ability. And then you're going to grab a ruler. I'm so sorry, mine's upside down. And just measure out that length of string. So mine sat at about like 12 centimeters. Again, that extra half a centimeter for the eye and an extra half a centimeter for that little hook flick bit that goes through our ear at the end. So I'm going to get my 1mm sterling silver wire and measure out the length of wire that I'd need. And I also forgot to cut off the other end, which was sharp as well, so just snip off the sharp ends. It just saves you a lot of hassle when you're filing. And then just file the end that's going to go through your ear. Just try and round it out as best as you can. Just make sure there's no sharp edges. You can just use the edge of your finger to see when that's nice and round to your liking. And then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and I'm going to make an eye at the other end. Maybe make it slightly larger than you would normally. It just makes it easier to put your earrings on and off and secure it. So I'm going to bend it back, make it a symmetrical eye at the top, and grab my flat nose pliers to just flatten it all out. Just give us a nice, easy base to work with. Cool, so once all the wire has been flattened out, you're just going to start kind of tracing your picture with the wire. So start where you've added that little line, just line your eye up with that, and then just use whatever tools you find easiest to go around the perimeter, make the shapes that you've drawn. Again, this doesn't have to be a heart, you can make anything with this technique, so just use whatever tools you find easiest. For any of the round bits, I'm just using this mandrel and just going down to the diameter that I need, but I'm sure you can find something in your house that will, will work. So we're at pens, markers, makeup tubes. I'm sure you can find something. So I'm just going to speed through the rest of this because basically I'm just tracing it using whatever tools I find easiest to make these shapes. And just keep going around manipulating it. Keep checking against your drawing as well. You don't want to get too far and then realize that you've made a big mistake. Cool, so I'm getting close to the end here, but I can already kind of tell it's not as symmetrical as I'd like it, but I'm just going to keep rounding out the corners, rounding out the edges, and seeing if I can manipulate it into a nice symmetric heart. But I realized that I actually want this other side to be slightly longer. So I'm going to just flatten it out slightly, straighten it out, and then just make the bend a little bit further down the wire instead. And now I think that looks a lot more symmetric than it was before. So just keep manipulating it until it's how you like it. Now, I've realized that I overestimated, so I'm going to have to chop off this little bit of wire at the end here and then refile it. Otherwise, it would just be way too long and be too hard to put your earrings on and off. So I'm just going to awkwardly try and refile this end. This is not ideal, but I guess, it's better to overestimate. So sometimes this will happen. And then with your pliers, just make a little flick up in the wire, which is the bit that's going to go through your your eye. And then I like to make just a little bend down, as you can see there, which just makes the eye sit better, I think, and doesn't distort the shape of the earring. And that's pretty much it. Just make sure it sits nicely. Make sure it doesn't go too far past the eye or anything like that, so you have a nice shape. And that is all. Thank you so much for watching.